outside the light.
There's a spot behind the warehouse where we used to sneak out for smoke breaks. It's just a stretch of brush and weeds behind the loading dock, about 50 feet from a chain link fence that separates the property from a stretch of county-owned drainage tunnels. You wouldn't even know they were there unless you were looking for them, half covered by vines and old pallets, with a rusted metal grate that someone had clearly cut through a long time ago. This story starts in 2021, when I was working third shift at a logistics center outside of St. Louis. I worked in inventory control, so my job was mostly moving pallets, checking barcodes, and filling out paperwork while trying to stay awake. There were 5 of us on nights. Me, Julio, a guy named Darren, and 2 temps who rotated in and out every couple weeks. Most of the time it was quiet, boring, but fine, until Darren started talking about the guy in the tunnel. We thought he was joking at first, said he saw someone crawling out of the drainage pipe around 3 a.m. while he was unloading a truck, described him as not quite naked, but close, with skin that looked dirty or burnt, claimed the guy just crouched there by the pipe and stared until Darren shouted, then slid back inside like a rat. We gave him crap about it for a week. Even Julio joined in, and he's the kind of guy who believes in Bigfoot and FEMA camps. Then one night, I saw it too. It was around 2:45 a.m., middle of a slow Tuesday. I stepped out back to grab some air and stretch my legs. I walked past the dock and toward the edge of the fence where the trees get thick, not really expecting anything, just looking to kill 5 minutes. That's when I saw movement by the pipe. Something was crouched just inside the tunnel. Not all the way out, just enough for the head and shoulders to be visible in the dim security lights. It was a man, I think. Bald, thin, with this slick-looking skin that caught the light wrong, like it was wet or stretched too tight. He was staring at me, not blinking, not moving. I froze. He tilted his head slowly, like a dog trying to understand a sound. Then, and this still messes with me, he smiled, or tried to. His lips peeled back way too far, way too slowly, like he'd never smiled before and wasn't quite sure how. I stepped back toward the building, keeping my eyes on him, and that's when he dropped to all fours and crawled back into the tunnel. No sound, no scuff of shoes or slap of skin on concrete. Just gone. I told Julio. He didn't laugh. He said, "I believe you, man. I saw it last week." Now it wasn't funny anymore. We started keeping track. Who saw it, what time, what it did. It wasn't every night. Sometimes a week would go by with nothing. Other times it'd appear 2 nights in a row, always between 2:30 and 3:30, always watching. One night, one of the temps, kid named Marcus, decided to get a closer look. Said he was gonna talk to the tunnel guy. We warned him not to, but he laughed it off. He went out back with a flashlight and his phone. We watched him walk down the hill toward the tunnel. He never got more than 10 feet from the opening before he stopped cold. Julio and I were watching from the dock. We saw Marcus turn around and book it back to the building, like something was chasing him, but nothing came out of the tunnel. He refused to talk about what he saw, just kept saying his hands weren't right. That wasn't right. Marcus quit the next day. Darren quit 2 weeks later. Julio and I stuck around, but we started parking on the other side of the building, closer to the front entrance. Didn't go near the fence if we didn't have to. Then one night, the smell started. It was this rotten chemical stench, like burned plastic and sewage. We checked the dumpster, thought maybe something had died inside. But it wasn't that. It was stronger near the back fence, near the tunnel. And on the ground near the pipe, we found something. A pile of bones. Not animal bones. Too small. Too human. They were clean. Bleached white. Arranged in a neat little stack, like someone had placed them there on purpose. We called the cops. They came out, took a report, barely looked at the bones before telling us it was probably raccoon leftovers, and that they'd send someone to clean it up. They never did. That's when we stopped reporting things. Then, on my last night working there, I saw him again, except this time, he was inside the fence. He wasn't crouching or hiding anymore. He was standing up, tall and thin, right behind the shipping containers. Same stretched skin, same awful grin. I didn't run. I just stared at him. He raised one hand, long fingers with too many joints, and pointed at me. Then he turned around and crawled back under the fence, fast, unnaturally fast. I put in my notice the next morning. Julio quit a week later. As far as I know, the tunnel is still there, still open, still waiting. I've tried to look it up online to see if anyone else has posted about it. Nothing. No missing persons reports, no news stories. But sometimes I wonder, what if it was human? Or used to be? What if someone lived down there long enough to change, to forget how to talk, how to move, how to be normal? I'm not sure, but I know I don't ever want to go back to find out.
Check us out on social media, where we keep you updated about what's going on with us and even give you a teaser for that week's episode. If you'd like to support us, check out our Patreon, where you get early access to episodes, a shout out on next week's episode for all new Patreons, access to our Discord server, and soon we'll have Patreon only goodies. Or if you want to do a one-time donation, you can buy me a coffee so I can stay up late making creepy content. We will soon also have an Etsy store with awesome Outside the Light swag. All of the links are provided in the description below. So give us a like or subscribe and leave us a review and share us with your friends. There's always more room by the campfire. As I put this campfire to bed, remember, if you can't find a light around you, then be the light in your world. You're always welcome around the campfire. I'll see you next week, everyone. Good night.